recently targeted, mobbed, and beaten up by a gang of teenagers in Massachusetts on a college campus for trying to meet up with an 18-year-old girl through the Tinder app. An 18-year-old girl, mind you. I would just like to repeat, he was not under the impression that he was going to meet up with a minor. This was a plot that was ensnaring him to get beaten up for meeting up with an 18-year-old girl only 3 to 4 years younger than himself. Yeah. This man is the age of a college graduate. So the story went massively viral. It's absolutely insane. They say that these teenagers on this college campus were inspired by a TikTok trend to recreate To Catch a Predator. Yeah. Except not by calling the police on an actual predator, but merely luring a random innocent person to beat them up and run them out of town. Like, actually chase them in a pitchfork-wielding mob of 25 to 30 people. Yep. I don't even know how this many people got wrapped up in this whole thing. It's actually mind-boggling, but the story is insane. This says 6 college students in Massachusetts were accused of luring an active duty service member whom they falsely described as a sexual predator to their campus. A group of more than 24 people chased and assaulted him, say authorities. One of the students who was charged told police that the plot was modeled on To Catch a Predator with Chris Hansen, the only one to ever do it, the GOAT. He did it the right way. He never beat anybody up. He actually got people arrested for what they were doing and had proof of what they were doing and planning to do. This involved no decoys, no printed out messages that were incriminating, nothing. This man matched with an 18-year-old on Tinder, thought that he was going out with this girl,
her profile
and then was
said
met.
That she was 18, and all the chat logs indicate that she said that she was 18.
Yes. And then he instead was met with an angry mob of 18-year-old boys angrily chasing him and trying to beat his ass. The one interviewee, Easton Randall, a 19-year-old, said Catch a Predator is a big thing on TikTok currently. So
it's like Alex Rosen.
They just thought, I mean, even Alex Rosen, he does it in a more systematic way that's like responsible and actually gets authorities involved.
But like Vitaly, and like there's a lot of them that have their own versions of this.
But it's the guerrilla predator catchers that are really turning things upside down here. People like Vitaly. Thank you. They also mentioned this is not a one-time isolated incident. There was a group of 11 Illinois teenagers who were charged just last month for a similar incident in which they ensnared 2 grown men in the same situation with no proof that they were planning to meet up with minors.
Okay, is there also no proof in that case as well?
If there is, it's not mentioned in the story. So yeah, 11 Illinois teenagers were charged with felony crimes for using dating apps to lure and beat men meeting up with women who are allegedly at least of age. So in a statement at the time, the city's police department did not provide additional details, but the police chief said to parents, take these incidents as an opportunity to talk to your teenage children about the seriousness of actively participating in these types of trends they see on social media. But at Assumption University in Worcester, where 6 people were charged in the plot were students, there was absolutely no evidence that the man students accused of being a predator had been seeking sex with a minor, says the police statement. He was chased by what the statement describes as a mob of 25 to 30 people, and he was ensnared in their conspiracy carried out by a group of 6 that includes allegations of systemic mistreatment, false imprisonment, physical assault and battery, and potential character assassination. The statement identifies one of the students as a juvenile, but the other 5, including Easton Randall, 19 years old, were charged with kidnapping and conspiracy. 2 other students were accused of additional crimes, including Kelsey Brainerd, who is 18, and charged with intimidation, and Kevin Carroll, 18, charged with assault and battery. Mm-hmm. Here's how it all seems to have come about to me, reading through this story. So this girl, Kelsey Brainerd, was on Tinder. She was on Tinder with a profile, her real age, 18 years old, and she matched with this innocent guy, this 22-year-old. Mm-hmm. She told her friend, Easton, that she had matched with this guy, and I presume, just by my knowledge of interpersonal dynamics between stupid teenagers, that it was Easton's genius idea to start messaging this guy on her behalf, luring him to a meetup location, and there was never any message exchanged that even suggested for a second that Kelsey was under the age of 18. But he just was kind of jealous of the guy that she matched with on Tinder. Easton thought he was going to have an in with Kelsey.
He's like, I'm going to beat this guy up and she's going to beat him up into my arms.
Exactly. And you know I'm right. You know this is how a teenage boy would probably be thinking in this situation.
What's weird is like the impulse to do this, especially given that it's connected to social media, it preys on some of the best aspects of being a guy, which is to protect those more vulnerable than you, and also the righteous anger that you can feel when you take care of something like this, if it's an actual situation, right? So a lot of bad things can be done when you feel that you're morally justified in doing so.
Yeah.
But you gotta do your due diligence if you're gonna do that, right? Like, it's
knowing that there were 25 to 30
and none
students
of them
involved
knew or cared, because that's not how mobs work.
The game of telephone must have been crazy. Like, they must have thought that this guy was just like a scumbag, and the game of telephone told them that he was trying to meet up with like a 9-year-old or something. I mean, for all they knew. And I also concluded I might be analyzing this a little too hard, but my read on it is that all of these college students who are presumably freshmen in 2024, well, now 2025, they went to Zoom school for like a whole year, and they were locked in their rooms, scrolling TikTok, having no social lives. It didn't recover much after that. So they're still mentally stunted from that. Mm-hmm. They don't have active social lives. They don't drink. And this was like probably the most exhilarating human moment they have ever experienced in their entire lives up until this point. Mm-hmm. And that's really sad, but it's true. You know it's true. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't even think they were particularly invested in the story. They were just like, yeah, like everyone is doing something together and we're all yelling and we all have adrenaline right now, and like this is exciting because they've never been to like a party. They've like never like danced because they're afraid of people recording them.
Go to a kegger, less people will get hurt.
But they were seen screaming and high-fiving each other while chasing this guy, like psychopaths.
Yeah, righteous anger. Their perceived righteous anger.
In a statement, their university president said that this behavior is abhorrent and antithetical to Assumption University's mission and values. In all circumstances, we expect our students to exercise sound judgment and uphold the principles of respect, responsibility, and character that define our community. This situation is particularly sobering because the victim is an active duty military service member. His service reminds us of the sacrifices made by those who defend our freedoms, including the opportunity to pursue an education. They're doing their due diligence, according to the victim's father, and these kids seem to have hung themselves with their own words. It's true. They are questioning the perpetrators of this act And even Kelsey Brainerd herself, the 18-year-old in question who was on the Tinder profile, could not come up with an explanation for how anyone would have had the idea that she was 17.
Yeah, it says a review of Tinder messages showed the service member believed he was meeting an 18-year-old. The statement says the woman's profile indicated she was 18. When officers followed up with Brainerd about where the information about the underage girl came from, the statement adds, quote, she could not answer.
Mm-hmm. It was just missed. It was just like lost in translation somehow. Word got out. Maybe there's a Telegram group chat, several.
Dude definitely thought he was gonna get the girl at the end of this.
Yeah, and not even a viral TikTok came out of this. I didn't see any video evidence. Apparently people were recording it, but then they didn't want to incriminate themselves by posting it.
Yep.
I hope they're smarter than that. Another sad detail that they added here is that the victim was only in town at the time for his grandmother's funeral, and he said that he just wanted to be around people that were happy.
I mean, I don't know
it's
what
like
that
an
means,
episode
but-
of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like he's getting chased by literally 30 sweaty teenage boys. And it's just like I feel bad for him, but this is like the insanity of the world we live in today, where I mean, now people are gonna see this headline and they're gonna be like, well, this is why I don't talk to women, because I'm gonna end up getting mobbed by 30 strangers.
I saw a couple in the chat already say that, so
I'm sure
fair
that
play.
some people do think that, but I guess, you know,
The question is, how bad do you think your luck is, right? Are you the one who's like,
it
if I
can't
do
be
this,
any worse than this.
it couldn't be me.
No. But I mean, that would apply more to, I guess, meeting up with someone that you've never met before from a dating app has
Because,
its
okay,
own concerns.
Don't I've never used Tinder. Does it require, like, you have to be 18 to use
Yes.
it, right? So
Yes.
if he was supposed to believe that she was 17, she would have had to explicitly told him, because it's not like the profile would have ever indicated
Right.
that age. She would have had to have been like, oh, don't worry, I'm not that age. And then he'd be like, oh yeah, that's great. But that's creepy.
Right?
But, like, that's creepy.
But that never happened. The police read the chat logs. There was never even a suggestion.
And I'm telling
that
you right
was the
now,
case.
I'm telling you right now, like, by the time the plan evolved, she's probably like, she just thought 18, 17, it's all the same, and didn't actually
And she
think
was
about
just
the
like,
legality of what
I
she
just
was
like
doing.
seeing Easton getting all riled up
Yeah.
like this.
No, that was his moment. She
I'm
should've
sure
just-
that
he
was
should've
his
just,
moment.
he should have just made his move then.
When he hatched the plan,
She's like, he's a real take charge kind of guy.
gosh, they're so stupid. Like, I told you before, there's just some screws loose in people born after like 2004. Like, there's just something wrong with them. They're barely even human. They definitely can't be trusted to be sent off to college and hatch
Take their phones away.
insane plans like this.
They're gonna have to move the Tinder age up to 25.
Yeah.
You can
Gosh.
use Tinder when you can rent a car yourself.
So he showed up to the campus alumni hall to meet up with this girl. He had been inside the building for a few minutes.
What does like I
And-
wanted to be around people that are happy mean though? Like I don't know.
Here's the funny thing is, the victim of this story was just trying to get laid.
All he has to be is like, look,
then
I thought I was gonna.
The perpetrator, this Easton kid, was also just trying to get laid.
Everything.
And there's just things. It was unstoppable force meets immovable object.
Civilizations have been built and destroyed on the desire for men to have sex. That is just a fact. And in this case, bad things happen when it curves off and goes awry.
So a group of people reportedly came out of nowhere and started calling him a pedophile. He was unable to leave due to being grabbed and held back.
I literally am just picturing Larry David.
I know, right? The subject.
Like, his head goes. He's like.
I'm not saying like the guy doesn't deserve sympathy. It's just so absurd. Yeah. The subject reported that he was unable to break free and he ran up the stairs being chased by 25 or more people. He then was chased to his car, punched in the head, had his car door slammed on him. After he fled, he dialed the police. The security video of the campus detailed in the statement confirmed this account. The video captured students berating this victim as a sexual predator, recording the pursuit as they chased him, high-fiving one another a few minutes later.
Charlie Stevenson in the chat is right. If he had just called Bonnie Blue, none of this would have happened.
The woman's profile indicated she was 18. I mean, I don't know how there could ever be miscommunication about this.
And his name has not been leaked, correct?
The victim's name has not been leaked yet. No.
That's good because
Yes.
that means that he's not getting unwanted
He's never going
publicity,
to
like,
show up in the same headline,
Yeah.
even out of context, as sexual predator.
Yeah.
But wow, these kids are in big trouble.
Yeah, they are.
They better be in serious trouble and probably get expelled because they used campus grounds
I
to
bet
commit
you
this act.
These days they're so lenient, probably won't even get expelled.
They go to a private school that,
Oh, okay.
that they pay to go
What was
to.
this Assumption?
This Assumption University.
That is ironic to the nth degree.
It's about the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, not about assuming
They
things
made
about other people. But
makes
yeah.
an ass of you and me, right? That's not good.
Chris Hansen would hate to see that this is his legacy.
Well, somebody pointed out earlier he did get in trouble, right? Because like he falsely accused somebody and that guy committed suicide, and then they mentioned something like that in the.
I don't think that they mentioned him being falsely accused.
I don't know if that one was specifically a false allegation, but
Yeah.
somebody did sue because somebody committed suicide, and then they sued the network, and then they paid out on the suit.
Yeah, the guy was not falsely accused, but he did commit suicide after being the subject of one of Chris Hansen's
I mean,
episodes.
there could be a whole discussion to be had about very serious legal matters being turned into fodder for public viewing, right?
What I really don't like
public
about
executions and public flogging and like punishment for the sake of public viewing has been a thing forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there could be a whole discussion about that, about what the moral implications are of making stuff like this entertainment. Then you get situations like this.
That's why I don't like these trends of people like Vitaly doing this, because you're literally just doing like the equivalent of catch and release for actual pedophiles. Like, sorry, PDF files. You're luring them into these situations, punching them a few times, and then sending them back out into the world to continue offending.
Yep.
So you're not actually doing anything except making yourself money. It's kind of disgusting. This also kind of touches on Gen Z's attitudes about age gaps, which are totally off the wall crazy. Like, if you think that an age gap between a 22-year-old and an 18-year-old is inappropriate, I just don't even know what to tell you. Like, you're from a different planet.
The hope is that these kids are held responsible, and this guy's got a huge lawsuit on his hand that he can lay at the feet of the families and all the college.
Family, the school, the
Tinder,
everything, Tinder.
Like sue
everyone, sue
them all.
everyone into oblivion.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.